All right, we're going to be working on lesson 8.3, multiplying polynomials, okay? And so we have this acronym called FOIL, all right, FOIL, which is just a way to remember what to do on a problem like this, okay? So let's go ahead and zoom in on the first example here, and then we'll kind of talk about the FOIL a little more in depth. Okay, so when I'm looking at a problem like this, you are technically going to be distributing. You're going to go ahead and start by taking the x to both parts, okay? So when I multiply x times x, I get x squared. X times 3 is 3x, okay? You are only going to change the exponent when you multiply. So I'm multiplying, so 1 plus 1 is 2. All right, now you're going to do the same thing with the 5. You're going to just go ahead and distribute the 5 to both parts. So you get a plus 5x and a plus 15. Now, you do need to clean it up, so we're going to go ahead and combine like terms here in the middle, and we're going to get x squared plus 8x plus 15. And that is going to be your answer, okay? You cannot put together a squared and a non-square, okay? So FOIL. All right, so now let's talk about FOIL means. So if I'm looking at FOIL, when I took x times x, they are just saying that you took the first number in each part, or the sort of first letter. So first, okay, O means outside, multiply the outside numbers. I means inside numbers. And then L means the two last numbers, okay? So FOIL is just a way to remember how to multiply this, but in reality, please understand, you are just distributing the x to both parts and the 5 to both parts. So if we kind of move back up here, FOIL is going to be first, outside, inside, and last, okay? And this will only work, FOIL only works when we have a binomial, so a two-parter, times another two-parter or binomial. Okay, so we have to have a binomial times a binomial for FOIL to actually work. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this next one. So again, you're just going to FOIL or multiply or distribute. 2x times 3x, so 6x squared. 2x times negative 4 is negative 8x. Negative 3 times 3x is negative 9x. And then negative 3 times 4 would be a positive 12. Again, you're going to go ahead and combine like terms in the middle there. And you're going to end up with 6x squared. Negative 9 and negative 8 is negative 17x. And then plus 12. And that's going to be my answer. Okay. So going to the next one, let's try one more time here. We're going to take x times x and get x squared. X times 4, 4x. Negative 4 times x, so negative 4x. And negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. Again, you're going to go ahead and combine like terms here in the middle. So in this case, a 4 minus 4 is just going to drop off. So I have x squared minus 16. And that's going to be my answer. All right, so now let's look at what happens when we end up with like a trinomial. So this guy right here has a 3-part. So the word FOIL doesn't work, but the concept still works. So you're still going to distribute. It's just that 2x has got to go to all 3 parts. All right, so 2x times 3x squared is 6x to the third. Again, we're adding those exponents. Negative 8x squared, and then a plus 2x. Now, you're going to do the same thing with the negative 5. You're going to distribute it to all 3 parts. So you're going to end up with a negative 15x squared, a positive 20x, and a negative 5. All right, so now you have to combine like terms, okay? So when I'm looking here, there is no more x to the thirds, so I'm going to start with 6x to the third. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead now and look at squareds. Well, I have a negative 8 and a negative 15. So that's going to give me a negative 23x squared. Okay. Then I'm going to go to the next guy here. I've got 2x and a 20x. I can combine those and get positive 22x. And then the negative 5, it can't combine with anything else. And so that's my answer. Okay. All right, so now we get to the really big guy here. All right, so when I'm looking at this guy, I'm going to have to take the 4a squared through to all three parts, the 3a to all three parts, and the -7 to all three parts. So you're going to get like 9 different sections here. It's going to be a big guy, okay? So let's go ahead and start. We've got 8a to the 4th minus 4a to the 3rd. And then I'm going to take it to the 8 and get plus 32a squared. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the 3. So 3a. So I'm going to get 6a to the 3rd. Take 3a to the a and get minus 3a squared. And then plus 24a. Okay, and now the last guy. Now I'm going to distribute that -7. So -7 to the 2 would be -14a squared. A negative times a negative, so I'm going to take -7 to the -a now and get plus 7a. And then I'm going to take -7 to the 8 and get -56. All right, so now I'm going to combine like terms, and again, we're going to have to keep it in standard form. So I'm going to start with my 8a to the 4th, because there's no other 4, so that takes care of that guy. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and go to my cubes. So I get a cube here, a cube here. Okay, no other cubes. So I'm going to have plus 2a to the 3rd. Now notice I'm not changing exponents when I add and subtract. I only change exponents when I multiply. All right, so now squareds. So 3a squared minus 2a squared and a minus 14a squared. So let's see here. So 29. So plus 15a squared. And then the last guy here, I'm going to have a 24a and a 7a. Well, 24 plus 7 would be 31a, and then the 56 doesn't have anybody else to pair up with, so minus 56. And this would be my answer. Again, notice how I'm putting it in standard form. So 4, 3, 2, 1, nothing. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and flip over to the next page. All right, so it says write and simplify an expression to represent the area. Write your solution in standard form and label. The dimensions of a professional basketball court are represented by the width of 2y plus 10, so you can see they've got that here, and a length of 5y minus 6. Find an expression for the area of the court. Okay, so to take area, hopefully we know that that would be length times width, right? So I'm going to have area equals length times width. So my length would be 5y minus 6, and my width is 2y plus 10. And now we're going to go ahead and FOIL. So when I do that, I'm going to get 10y squared plus 50y minus 12y, and then minus 60. Again, combine like terms in the middle here. 10y squared, 50 minus 12 is 38y, minus 60. And now it said standard form. Luckily, we're in standard form. 2, 1, no y. So we've got it in standard form. But it did, I believe, ask us to label. And since we have feet, it's going to be in feet squared. And there would be my answer. All right. And number 7, a cylinder has a dimension shown. Find the total surface area. And so you can see here, we went ahead and there's the formula for it, okay? And make sure it's written in standard form. Okay, so we're going to use this guy, okay? And if you ever at any point you don't know the formula for something, just Google it, look it up, okay? So this would be a cylinder. You could look up surface area of a cylinder, and this is the formula they'll give you. All right, so let's kind of zoom in here a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I've got 2 pi. Now my radius is right here. This is my radius. So there's x plus 1 squared plus 2 pi. My radius on this guy is going to be x plus 1, and my height is going to be x plus 4. Now, we have not really talked a lot about this yet. We're actually going to hit this pretty heavy tomorrow. But when you have a squared right there, it means you're going to write it out twice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus in. I'm not going to worry about the whole second part here. I'm just going to focus in on this first part to start with. Okay, so I have a 2 pi on the outside. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it there for now. And again, that squared means write it out twice. So now when I write that out twice, now I can FOIL this guy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and FOIL, and I'm going to get x squared plus x, or 1x, plus x, and then 1 and 1 is 1. So I get x squared plus 2x, so keep in mind that there is a 1 in front there. So 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1. Now, I still have this 2 pi hanging out that we've got to address somehow, okay? So now, with the 2 pi, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to distribute it through to all 3 parts. So I'm going to get 2 pi. Again, the pi usually stays by the number, x squared. 2 times 2 is 4 pi x, and then 2 pi times 1 is just 2 pi, okay? All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of zoom in here, and we're going to focus on this second part. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute and get x squared plus 4x plus x, or 1x, and plus 4. So again, I'm going to combine like terms here in the middle and get x squared plus 5x, remember there's a 1 in front there, plus 4. And now again, I still have this 2 pi just kind of like hanging out here that I'm going to have to address. So just like on the first part here, we're going to go ahead and distribute it. All right, and so I'm going to distribute and get 2 pi x squared plus 10 pi x plus 8 pi. Okay, so now all of this is addition, so I'm just going to put an addition sign here in the middle. Now, when I look at this, because they all have pi's involved, we can go ahead and combine like terms. So when I'm combining like terms here, I've got 2 pi x squared and 2 pi x squared. So that's going to be, so that's going to be 4 pi x squared. Again, I'm adding, so I don't change my exponent. Only change the exponent when I multiply. All right, and then the next guy, I've got 4 pi x and 10 pi x. So that's going to be 14 pi x. And then on the last one here, I've got a 2 pi and an 8 pi, and that's going to end up being 10 pi. Now, we do have to label, and they don't give us a label, so we don't need to worry about that. So this is going to be my answer. Again, it is in standard form because I'm going from x squared to x to no x. Okay, that concludes notes for 8-3.